What's up, Dauntless Men? How's it going? Happy 2019 to y'all. This month and the rest of the year we're going to be doing basically little mini series on different men in the Bible that have different topics that we choose already for each month. For January it's going to be Driven. So, I did some searching. I'm still new and learning about the Bible and all those things, but it's not too hard to find men in there that have been serving God's purpose throughout time. So it's great, and it's a good refresher for those that already know the Bible. For those that are learning like me, it's a great way to get started. I hope you find the stories interesting, and if you want the full story, I'm going to add the link down at the bottom of the video so you could go to our magazine and actually read the full story. But basically, we're going to go ahead and get started. Nehemiah is the story that we're going to be talking about, and I chose him to be driven because he has a persistent attitude, he's an unwavering love towards God, and he has an ability to see past his current reality to a brighter future for God's people and himself. And just like you and me, in the 21st, 22nd century, wherever we're going to go, it's still good to be somebody that understands that God is in control of your life, and to understand that if you are following his rules and following what he has in store for your heart, that she's going to take you to great places, and I really want to just make sure that you guys understand that it's all about your heart. Being a man is actually how you connect to God. It's not just what the world tells you is the definition of a man. So Nehemiah's job, actually he is a cupbearer to King Artaxerxes, who's from Iran, Persia. And it's kind of interesting because the cupbearers are just people that drink the liquor or the wine for the king, or they drink whatever is going to be passed over to the king. And in case there's poison in there, if they drink it, they're the ones that die and not the king. So it's very interesting. That's where he was at his current position and where God has taken him to. And like myself, I'm just a car salesman right now. I'm not anything special, but I have high hopes and a lot of faith that God is going to take me to great places in this lifetime. So I'm very happy to be on this journey. I want you guys to join me. I want you to have your own journeys and testimonies to share with the world, and that's really why I'm doing this video. I just want to kind of reach out to everybody that's out there watching. So we'll go back to the story. So Nehemiah is just a cupbearer, and he's for King Artaxerxes. And then after hearing about what happened back in Nehemiah's homeland, however, he is heartbroken and he wants to help his people. So that really causes a change within Nehemiah's heart. Also, God changes the heart of the king. In Nehemiah chapters 2 verses 4 through 6, you're going to find out some really cool stuff that happened. But not only did the king, he said it was okay for Nehemiah to go back to his kingdom, because he was already working for the king. You can't just be like, yo, I want to go back and just like that leave when you're under rule. So he had to wait and ask for permission from the king to go. And the king said it was cool for him to go back, but that wasn't it. He actually gave him army officers, which I thought was pretty cool, letters of a safe passage, and a letter to get the building supplies. I mean, that's pretty bad. I mean, pretty cool. Somebody that you're working for just tells you, hey, you can go back and fulfill your purpose that God has given you and placed in your heart, because I want to see, I want to see great things come out of you. And I don't know if that's how it went down, but it'd still be pretty cool. Somebody that wants you to succeed. And just like anybody that has some type of purpose, or you're driven for doing something great in your life, there's always going to be people that are hating on you. There's always going to be people that talk behind your back and say different things, or whatever the case might be. And the story is no different. Nehemiah, he faced opposition from the surrounding tribes that were there around the city of Israel, where he had gone back to rebuild the walls and the gates. and he had haters left and right trying to tell him why he shouldn't be building the wall. It would crumble. What are you doing? Blah, 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 blah. Add in whatever hating remarks you want to add in there. But they were all there just trying to get him to stop from what mission God had placed in his heart. And, you know, Nehemiah is like a cool dude because he just understands that God has given him this purpose to go through his life and to finish what he's trying to do. And therefore, he's just going to rely on God and speak to God first before going and seeking any other answers from anywhere else. So Nehemiah responds to these insults and people fighting back, and he says, "Hear us, our God, for we are despised. Turn their insults back on their own heads. Give them over as a plunder in a land of captivity. Do not cover up their guilt or blot out their sins from your sight, for they have thrown insults in the face of the builders. So we rebuilt the wall till all of it reached half its height, for the people worked with all their heart." Nehemiah chapter 4, verses 4 through 6 in the NIV. So that's pretty cool. He didn't just get mad or angry with them. He was just like, you know what? If this is what I'm supposed to do, I'm going to go ahead and do it. So he stayed persistent to what the goal that God had placed in his heart to do. And the tribes got really upset with that response. You know, as most haters do, when you're doing something great, they're hating even more. It's just how the recipe goes, but that's their job to let them hate. So just go ahead and keep doing what God has for you. So the tribes, they got really upset with that response, and they wanted to fight and kill them. I mean, and that's when you know you're really doing the right thing. He even told them that Nehemiah, in order to help his people stay strong, he told them to, you know, grab swords, grab weapons of all different sorts, and just, you know, have one weapon in your hand while you're building the wall, you know. He was so determined and persistent to get this job done. So I thought that was really neat as well. Another thing I wanted to just touch on is that even though he finished building the wall, after doing that and facing a lot of opposition, there was still, the haters were still trying to hate and tell him to stop completing the wall. But it says, and I quote, but they were scheming to harm me, so I sent messengers to them with this reply: I'm carrying on a great project and cannot go down. Why should the work stop while I leave it and go down to you? 4 times they sent me the same message, and each time I gave them the same answer. Nehemiah 6, 3 through 4. Talk about a baller status, huh? This guy just didn't want to listen to nobody else's request. He just said, you know what? I've been given something to do that's really great. That's going to bring a lot of people happiness and joy, and it's what God has placed in my heart to do. And therefore, I'm going to just go ahead and do it. And no matter what anybody says, I'm going to accomplish this goal for me because I have a lot of faith, you know. And so Nehemiah, he just kept going, and he actually finished the wall despite the constant nagging and distractions. He completed his purpose for building the wall, and I just challenge you guys as men to learn from this driven, dauntless man in the Bible and do likewise in the purpose and plans that God has created just for you. All right? Thanks, guys. Take care. Peace.